Hello, welcome to Always Yarn First, the podcast that delves into knitting, crochet, spinning, and all things yarn. I'm Lindsey, and I'm coming to you from Little Rock, Arkansas. To stay updated on my latest yarn adventures, you can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome, everyone. Today is Friday, May 17th, and I think I have some fun things to show you today. So before we get into it, I am still waiting for my winner from my last podcast. So if you participated in knitting all the small things, make sure you go watch that and email me. And I just checked, my YouTube subscriptions is at 492 right now. So 8 more subscribers and we'll reach 500, and then I will be giving away a beautiful prize package from Lori at Arkansas Yarn Co., the March Sock Yarn Society box with all the goodies in it. So that's good. Okay, so if you are new to my podcast, thank you for joining me. I hope that you find something you like. I do a traditional podcast style. And I name every episode off of a song title because before my love of yarn was my love of music. I like most genres of music, and so I always find an appropriate song that has either my life vibe or my making vibe. And so this week is episode 63, and this week's song is That. It is by Psy, if all y'all remember Gangnam Style, the same Psy. You know that I like Korean pop music. Love the Suga from BTS is in the song too. And even if you're not into a foreign language music, I dare you to listen to this song and not dance. It's like a perfect summer vibe song. So I have a Spotify playlist, which I have all of my songs that I've used for the podcast in there. And I have the link below that you can follow me on Spotify if you would like to. All right, so this week, things we're covering. I am not wearing any knitwear. In fact, you'll have to excuse me. I am in my workout clothes because I feel like a lot to do today. So immediately after I film this, I will be doing my workout. So I'm already in my workout gear and it's warm, so I'm just comfy. So I have new cast-ons. I don't have any finished objects. I have new cast-ons. I have whips. I have spinning to show. And then I have quite a few acquisitions, and we'll talk future makes with that because if you've been around for a few weeks, my mojo is full on returned, and I want to cast on all the things real bad. So that has reflected in my purchases. So we will talk about that, and I will share with you what things I want to make. So let's get into it. There will be timestamps for all of those chapters below so that you can skip around if you'd like. All right, so the first thing we're going to go into is new cast-ons, and I have 3. This first one I'll show, I may have cast on by the last podcast, but I didn't show it because this one is a design. So I'm not going to talk extensively about it because still it's not done. It's not a pattern yet. I'm just still playing with it, but I'm really enjoying it. So I do want to show it. So I'm making essentially like a scarf. Scarf, one skein, mini shawl, whatever you want to call it. And so this is where I'm at. The yarn I'm using is right here. It is Arkansas Yarn Co. Yummy Sparkle in Ms. Tamara's Tulips. So last year we had a retreat and I made up my first ever pattern. It was a one skein shawl. So I'm working on doing that again so that we can cast on together the first night of the retreat. This year I really wanted to focus on making something not so easy it's boring, but you know those perfect projects where You can easily keep up with it while you're socializing. It's like the perfect thing to take to your knit night. I wanted something like that. So that's kind of where I started with this. I'm not saying that this is going to be necessarily the retreat shawl. Like I said, it's still a work in progress, and I'm not going to talk about much what I'm doing because I haven't written the pattern yet. But I will say that right here I have my stitch marker, so I was increasing up to that point. So now I'm on the second half where I am decreasing. And I'm really enjoying it. It's obviously you can see it's garter with some extra little things going on, but I'm loving it. It's very easy. It's a great social knit with TV watching, whatever. So that's all I'm going to say with that, but hopefully you'll see that again. It will be a pattern. I will write it up as a pattern, whether it will be for the retreat or not. I love it too much to not write it up because it's very fun. And sometimes you need the complicated patterns, but you also need that easy, mindless pattern for days where you're extra tired, not feeling well. Y'all know. So that is that one. All right, the next one I cast on is just another pair of vanilla socks. This is in my bag by Amy from Happy Little Yarn. I need to hand sew. My tag is coming off here. Love this bag. And I had mentioned a couple podcasts ago that I wanted to cast on socks for my friend, Rania. And for any of you that know Rania, when she dyes her hair, it's usually one of two colors. And I looked through my stash and I found this skein that literally has the two colors that Rania dyes her hair. And this is it. It's usually kind of like this kind of electric magenta or this bright blue teal. And I'm like, oh, these have to be socks for her. So I have cast on this one. I decided to do toe up. So I'm right here. I'm past the toe. Now I am just knitting the foot. And I'm doing magic loop on this one. So not much to say about this. Loving the yarn. This is the first time I've used this yarn. This yarn is Supernova Dyeworks, and the colorway is Vibe Check. It is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, and it's 438 yards to 100 grams. So, yeah, these are fun. These feel thicker. I was working on them yesterday at the yarn store, and I was like, Jessa, don't these feel thick to me? Because like I said, I've never used this yarn, so, but it feels nice and squishy. So, hope Rania will love them. All right, and I've cast on yet another thing just this morning. So, first of all, I guess I should have maybe said this up front, but I have exciting news, at least exciting for me. I am now working at Arkansas Yarn Co. Right now, it's part-time, but this week was the first week I worked, and so it's super exciting to literally be there. Of course, I was, helped out the team with different things. I was Lori's virtual assistant, but now I'll be doing a lot of those things, in store. So it's really exciting. So sometimes that job, like yesterday, Jess and I were looking around the store and maybe new in-season samples that people can come in and get excited about making like spring, summer feeling knits. So like I was doing a lot of pattern hunting of what you could make or what we could promote in the store. And I basically asked Lori to order these books when it came out. So this is the 52 Weeks of Easy Knits. And you'll remember I am knitting, or I have knit, but not finished seaming and such, the very first pattern in this book, which is the Give Me the Tea. That's the only one I have started, but she has quite a few of these books in store, and I love this book. I think there's lots of great easy knits. So I was kind of combing through that book to see if there was any patterns that would be more seasonal. And I found one. I'm going to put the picture up on here. It is the Audrey, which is a headband. And I had yarn left over that uses a DK weight. I had this yarn left over from when I made my agave sweater, which this is Lori's yarn, the Damask base. So these were literally what I had left, where I was holding double for that top as well. So this morning I cast on, I lost the little cake that was on here this morning. But I cast on this headband, and now I'm just doing the garter in the middle, and I probably will finish this today. I mean, you can see how much I've done. Right now it's just 11 o'clock. I think I started this at like 8 o'clock this morning. Super simple, but it's a cute little headband to wrap your head back, so your hair back. So I just thought it'd be fun, and I'm like, I knew I had this on my desk at home, and I'm like, I still have it out, like I haven't put it away in my scrap bin, so I could easily just whip one of these up real quick and then use it for a sample at the shop to show off this pattern. So that is what I'm doing. Doesn't look like much now, but you can see my increases here. But it's really easy, really fun. Quick knit, quick gift if you wanted to make a gift. So like I said, these books are available for purchase at the shop online. So that is my 3 cast-ons. So let's get into whips. All right, so let's start with one that I'm working on as I get the minis each month. This is in my puff stitch bag. And this is my Anesidora shawl. Okay, so the Anesidora shawl, I am using a monthly club I've been getting from Gritty Knits. It is called the All Year Advent, and you can go on her website and start your order at any time. I started when she started the club. So this is where I'm at. And it's a little tight here because obviously there's fringe, so you always cut your yarn when you're on this side, which is awesome. But of course I like to tie them up and secure them and then make them even after a little while I go along. Well, I was making the fringe literally on like the last 2 for a while there, and it was just making it way too tight. But that's okay. This is for me, so not worried about it. But you can see my marker. So I showed this the last month. I try to stay up to date. So these last 4, I do 2 rows of color per mini scheme. So there's color 1 from last month, and here's color 2. And so now I will move my marker up. I am literally ready for the next one. And if I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be delivered today or tomorrow. So I am right on track to start my May colors. But this is going to be so beautiful. So I will just keep up this subscription until I'm done with the shawl. And then I've been using the extras in my Wave to the Fans blanket, which I will show too. So yeah, that's it for that one. All right. What should I show next? Okay, let's show the Shimmering Purl. That is in my Black Pearl Magic bag. And so close to being on the edging. So I'm working the last lace section. I'm going to show you the middle because you can see where my marker is. So I work this lace, there's a couple lace sections here, and a garter section, and then that's where I showed you last time. And so I'm on my last lace section. I think I have 3 more rows for this one. This one's a bit smaller. And then in the pattern, it tells you that you can make as many of those lace sections as you want. And then she tells you how much she used for the bind off, which is like a picot, which takes a little bit more. So she let you know how much yarn she used to do that picot edging, just so you make sure to have enough yarn, because this is a 1 skein shawl. So here's how much yarn I have left. This is in Arkansas Yarn Co. Yummy Sparkle Barbie World colorway. Can't never tell. The sparkles don't show up for me on the camera when I look until I'm editing and I can see them. So I think that I have plenty to do another lace section, but I think I'm only going to do one here and do the bind off. I know it'll be small as far as width, but I'm kind of just imagining it as like a little shawlette thing anyway. And I'll admit, it's because of my cast on itis of me wanting to do all the new things that I'm kind of like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm done. Like if I don't just finish this section and do the bind off stuff, I feel like it's going to linger, and I don't want that. I do want it. I think it'd be beautiful, like as a little wrap scarf thing over like a summer dress at night. I think it'd be gorgeous, especially because it's white and pink, so it will go with a lot of my stuff. But it's beautiful, but I'm ready for it to be done. So I'll probably have a little extra yarn left, which is fine, again, because I have a scrappy blanket. All right, next thing let's cover is my May Desert Vista Dyeworks socks, which is always in this bag by Trappies and Trinkets. I have finished a sock since the last time, so here is the colorway I'm using this month. I am doing the year-long Desert Vista Dyeworks sock along. This is her colorway Graffiti Elephant. I didn't bring a sock blocker over, but that's okay because I had it folded in here. All right. Oh, and tell you a funny story when you look at this sock. Okay, so here is sock 1. And here's where I'm at the second sock. I'm getting ready to do the heel. And this is why I cast on the other socks, because tomorrow, Saturday, the day that this video is going up, I am teaching a class at the store for the shadow wrap heel. So I'm going to use this sock for me to show how to do it. So I just needed to hold onto this, but I always have to have a workable sock, so I cast on those other ones. This one I did cuff down, so I'm at the heel. So this one, so if we, are you guys, do you knit in the dark? Like, I mean, dark. So like movie theater knitting. I do love to do it. I am not, as skilled as some people doing it. So I went to the theater with my daughter and her friend. We went and saw The Fall Guy, which was really good. And I was in the foot of this, and I actually got a ton of knitting done. But a lot of people, so when you're learning to knit in the round without looking, I find that most people have the problem of dropping a stitch. I seem to have the opposite problem. Like when something doesn't feel right, which is probably like a split, like you split the yarn in actuality. When it doesn't feel right to me, I overcompensate. What probably is I've already gone to that stitch and didn't drop it or something, and I should have just pushed that stitch off of my needle. But what I actually do is go through again, just to be sure, because I don't want to drop stitch for inches, hours later, because it makes it really tight. When you can fix it, but it makes it really tight line there. So it almost never fails that I have more stitches on my needles at the end of the movie. So you can see this mess right here. It is a hot mess. So what happened there was I had added a stitch. And so I'm looking at it after the movie, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to have an extra stitch that long, so I'll just go down and fix it, which is dumb because just for the same sake that when you go drop down that far and pick up a stitch, it's going to be super tight. Well, now you have that looseness behind you that is going to be super loose. So I went down and like fixed the problem of the extra stitch, but then it looked horrible. So then I went down again, picked up the stitches and knit two together. Thankfully, these socks are just in my size for me. These weren't going to be a gift for anybody this time. But what a mess. Next time I know, okay, if it's like, unless it's more than a few rows, then just knit two together right there and just be done with it. So, and just fudge it. But anyways, it's fine. So yeah, I'm on this, I'm on the heel. Tomorrow I will do that at the class that I'm teaching and then move along with the foot and get this done for the month of May. All right, the next work in progress, I'm actually picked up this crochet mess I talked about maybe a few episodes ago. So if you didn't see that episode, let's see, I have one separate. So quite a long time ago, I don't remember how long, I wanted to make a crochet squares blanket for my king size bed. And so I was getting, I can't remember the subscription box where you get 10 10-gram minis, row 1. And I was using those to make these. The pattern for these squares that I did is the Scrappy Granny by Natty. It is a free pattern. So I just made a bunch of those, connected them. So, and then I had like a Knit Picks Undyed. So because I measured out how the width of my bed and I just added one on each end. So I basically have 12 squares and I obviously seamed them up in the middle. But then I realized I made a different crochet like accent blanket and I have that on my bed. So I'm like, I don't want to make this. But it seems a shame. I have 3 strips of these. It seemed a shame for them to go to waste. And I'm like, even if I frog them, I don't know. It just seemed ridiculous to me. So what I ended up deciding is I was just going to seam the 3 of them together, the lengthwise, and basically kind of have like a boho wrap essentially. So then I decided that and then immediately put them off to the side again. But the other day I had a day last week where I'm like, you know what? I'm just looking at them and I'm like, I'm going to do it. So I took 2 of them and I seamed across. So what I did is I'm saying that this is the right side. So I folded the right side touching and I just did a crochet slip stitch across. So you can see the seams on the back, which is fine. So yeah, I just went all the way across and I'm happy with it. So I have this one other strip. I will figure out which one it's going to lay next to. And then when I'm motivated again, I'll clear off my desk and do all the way across from that. And then what I think I will do is take that undyed and go around the whole edging to just have that cohesive. So yeah, won't take much and then it'll be a finished object, a finished thing. And we'll get this out of it literally has just been thrown on a yarn shelf. So that's what I looked at the other day and I was trying to clean up some things, needles that hadn't been put away and such. And I'm like, okay, what is holding me back? That is not a hard project. I just need to do it. So excited I did this much. I have one more and then I will have a border to do. And I'm just now calling that crochet wrap. But yeah, the Scrappy Granny is the pattern I used for the squares. All right, one more project to show you. Just an update on my Scrappy blanket. It is in a bag by NicNacKnits. I haven't made a ton of progress, but I just made this into a reel on Instagram, showing it off. I love it so much. I know I say that every time. I know I'm just saying it all the time. I just can't. So, you can see where my stitch marker is. Last time I showed it. But look at that. I'm literally using scrap bin of fingering scraps, but I hold it double, so it's like a DK weight. The pattern is by Lori from Arkansas Yarn Co. It is available online, and she doesn't make hers as a scrappy blanket. That's just what I am doing with mine, and I love it. So since I'm holding 2 scraps at a time, when one of my balls scrap empties, I just pick up a secondary ball to go with the one I'm already holding. And I just keep doing it. I love this pattern and I cannot say enough good things about it. This is my TV knit. So some weeks it gets a lot of love and other weeks not so much, which is fine. I'm not in a rush. It just brings me joy to work on it. And that is it for my whips. All right, I do have 2 podcast highlights. New to me podcasters. So I will have these both linked below. The first one is Helin. She is Danish and she is known as the Playful Knitter. And then the other one is Laura. She's from California and she has her own hand-dyed yarn. She is Back Porch Fiber Co. So I have those linked below. So go follow them if you haven't already. Or if you're just looking to add some new podcasts in your life. I'm always looking for new ones. Okay, so what we have left is, briefly, I'm going to show you the spinning I got done. And then we're going to go into the acquisitions / future makes. So let's talk spinning. Now, I have been spinning yarn from my Fiber Nymph Fiber Advent I got last year. And I've been taking those, plying them with some natural alpaca. So I've been doing a 3-ply. So I finished plying 2 more skeins. Now, this is the first one I did. Beautiful. Lord of the Rings is all kind of earthy tones. Their colors are kind of all over the place, but I think they will go together well. So the second one I did, now these have not been washed or thwacked yet. So these aren't like finished. This one looks good up here. And then you look down here and you see if you're not a spinner, all these pigtails. Like I've over twisted it. And so it's like curling up. So, I don't know. Like I said, my mojo is back, but there's still quite a bit of stress going on. And so I'm wondering if I was stressed when I did this. I'm anxious to see once I wash it and thwack it, if it will relax a little bit. Because it's not through the whole thing. It's just a little bit, or else I just lost my attention span and I was holding it like talking to someone for too long on different pieces and over twisted certain parts. So yeah, but here is what I've got. So I'm very happy with that. I think I will only have 1 more bobbin, thus 1 more skein of plied yarn. I have all of the Advent spun. I was having to catch up with the alpaca spin to be able to have enough to ply with this, but I'm pretty sure I have enough to just finish plying 1 more bobbin, which is exciting because then I haven't washed any of them. I'm just going to wash them all at one time. And then I'm thinking of working one of the Traveler patterns by Andrea Mowry because I think it would, because the colors play well together. They don't match, but they play well together throughout. So that is my spinning. Okay, so if you were just here for the making, we are done, except I am going to talk about some patterns that I'm really anxious to start on. but we are getting into acquisitions. So let's start with things I had previously ordered and came in. So I had pre-ordered from Kimber's Cozy Creation, her Funfetti, the beginning of March, and I didn't get it till the beginning of May. So this is it. Funfetti, like about how you would imagine it to be. Rainbow, speckly, good. This is her Twisted Fingering base, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. So I just got one skein of that. That would be fun socks for me, or a hat, something like that. And then I had mentioned before that I had put in an order for Desert Vista Dyeworks because I'm doing her year-long make-along. I always have to use her yarn. She dyes to order, so it takes a little bit longer to receive them. And because I have done socks every month so far this year, at the end of March, I get a discount code. So I use that discount code and I got a few skeins of yarn. So I'll show you what I got. This one is Neon Cotton Candy. And now normally when I see this yarn just in the skein, I like all the colors, but I'm like, I don't know how that works up. But if you saw my socks, was it last month? No, 2 months ago. It was a similar type of skein, and it does micro striping. And I was in love how it knit up. Even that skein, which was more my color jam, I'm like, oh, these are my colors, but I don't know how they're going to pool. I was in love with those socks. And so I'm like, okay, I need to see if she has any more skeins like that that's going to micro stripe. And she has a picture. She always posts on Instagram, like little knit up pictures. And this one does the same thing. So for me, like even looking at it now, I'm like, But this was the one I wanted the most to order from her, that she put back in the shop, because I had posted that I wanted all these pink skeins, and like she had none of them at the time because she always changes out what colors she's offering. And so I gave her a few names and she put this one back in the shop, and I was so excited. So I might do those ones next month for me. The other pink one that she put in the shop that I had wanted, this is Caribbean Colors. Real bright, totally my jam. And then this one is Carrera Lake. Blues and greens. And then the last one, she did have this one already in the shop. This is based on the Great British Baking Show, and it's called No Soggy Bottoms. So I got those in. I ordered those also like a month ago. So, all right, now, so those are all I had ordered a while ago, paid for a while ago. They came in since the last podcast. So, like I mentioned, this is my first week like working at the yarn shop. And, you know, you always think, oh, I'd love to work at a yarn shop. I'd be surrounded by beautiful yarn all the time. But then it's like, okay, but I gotta like not spend all my money on the yarn. I don't think it's always going to be a problem for me. But like I said, like my mojo has returned, and the changing, like it's supposed to be like summer temps starting next week. So we're talking like 85, 90 degrees here in Arkansas. So I really wanted to get like some tank tops specifically on my needles. So I bought some things for it. So first thing I bought this actually before I went to the store. I had ordered this. It's in a bag. So let me take that out. And I'm going to put pictures of the patterns while I talk about them. So I don't even know. You all know I watch so many podcasts. And so I always am getting ideas of things from what other people are wearing or talking about or making. And I saw someone talk about the camisole number 9. Now, I've never knit a My Favorite Things pattern before. And I think, I don't know, I didn't research this fully before the podcast. I feel like not all their patterns are size inclusive. I'm not positive on that. This one is, I feel like it goes up to like a 63-inch bust. But it's just those, you know, those tank tops that are kind of fitted that you put usually under something. But you can wear them by yourself too. And I really like that aesthetic. Like I would like to have that in my wardrobe. Now, saying that, the gauge and the tightness of that pattern on smaller needles, I was showing the girls at the yarn shop and they're all like, oh no, I could not make that. That would take forever. This is going to really be a project knit for me. Even if it does take me longer, I really want it in my wardrobe. So that's what I'm going with. So she used more of a hot weather friendly base. I think she used a merino cotton. And so I had gone on the Arkansas Yarn Co. website and I just typed in merino cotton to see what they had. And they have this. This is by Teeny Button Studio. And this is her breezy fingering. So it's 50% merino and 50% cotton. 436 yards per 100 grams. This is the colorway Audubon. So I will be making that with this. And originally I thought right away, because I'm like, ooh, tank top, yes. Oh, and I also ordered these at the same time because that shawl I'm making the pattern for, these are awesome. It's just two separate things that you put on whether you're knit and increasing or whether you're knit and decreasing. And I only had one set of this. I thought, oh, if it's going in a certain pattern and you have another pattern, you need another one. So I got a couple more of these. Love these. So I got that online. And when I went in the store, I'm like, oh, I'm going to cast on this tank top. Well, then, of course, like I said, I was looking for different patterns for the store and stuff. And we were talking about summer patterns and fibers. And so I was looking at things to promote. And then I came across this pattern. This pattern is called the Sand and Sky Tank. It's by Rachel Brockman for Universal Yarn, who makes Bamboo Pop. So this is the Bamboo Pop sock. This is 55% bamboo, 37% cotton, 8% PBT. I have used these yarns before. I have actually made socks out of this color. And here's what the colors look like. These are super affordable yarns. Like I said, this is 492 yards. A skein of this at the store is $12. Very lightweight, beautiful colors. So you'll see in the picture here that I'm posting that, yes, she did stripes, which this does, but she took these two colors and striped them. And I'm like, oh, it's like the sand with the ocean. And I'm like, yes, please. And I love this fiber. And so I probably, if I have time, I'm going to cast this on today. The great thing about the bamboo sock too, when you cut this tag off, the yarn's ready to go. You don't need to wind it. It's good to go. So you only, for my size, which is, I think I'm doing the large. I don't remember because I don't have it in front of me. But you only need one ball of each color. Who wants to make this with me? I'm just saying. Like, hello, 90 degree weather is coming to Arkansas. So let's have a Bamboo Pop tank top. I'm so excited for this tank top. All right. So one more pattern I do want to mention. That was the yarn I bought from yesterday. One more pattern I do want to mention that I want to make, but I have cotton at home, so I figured I probably had enough for this. Another thing about me being at the yarn shop is Jessa can crochet. I think Lori knows the basics too, but she hasn't in ages. they are not really crocheters. I don't actively crochet because I do prefer knitted garments, but I crochet enough where it's still, you know, fresh in my mind. So I will be there to help with any crochet things. And so then I thought, well, maybe we need to have some more crochet things in store to show off so that when a crocheter does come in, they can see it's not just all knitting in the store. So I found this cute little bolero cardigan, whatever, called the Linden. And I really like this. I wear a lot of things like this. In fact, I made one in cotton, a different pattern. And I like it over, like, I have a lot of spaghetti strap summer dresses. And I like it so that when you go in a store or whatever, it's just a little bit of warmth on you. But it's not a full-on sleeves. It's just something to cover you up during the day. So I think I might make this, but I was pretty sure I have enough cotton. I haven't looked yet, but I have a whole box of cotton. And this is 100% pure cotton. So, and I think this would go really fast because if you've never crocheted, crocheting, once you get the movement down, it just flies. And each stitch takes more yarn. So it's really great if you want to use up stash. So those are the patterns I am super excited to get on my hook, my needles. I did buy one more thing yesterday. This was in the sales rack. And this has a ruler on one side. There you go. And this says Arkansas Yarn Co. Crossover Industries. Let me see. It is called the Wrist Ruler Tote Bag. So, ruler tote. So, there is, I saw 3 others besides this one in the store. And one is gray. The other 2 are exactly this color. This is in the sales rack. It's a really good size. There's no pockets or anything. It's just this one. I mean, I would use this as a purse. Throw my wallet and keys in there. No problem. I just thought it was super cute. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to snatch one of those. So I did. All right. And that is all for my purchases. Like I said, hopefully not every week when I work will I be as tempted. But, you know, as many times as I've been in the store, you think that you've seen all the things. But then, you know, we all get, it's kind of like your favorite restaurant. You go and you order your favorite thing. You know what you like. So the same with the yarn store. Once you get used to the layout of the yarn store, you know where, you know, your fingering weight is, your DK weight is, what things you don't use as much. You don't go to that section as much. But now that it's my business to know all the things in the front of the store, like I have to know like what content is in all these yarns. So when people come through, I can give suggestions of, oh, you're looking for this. Well, let me show you over here. So it's super exciting. Like I feel like I'm going to, it's literally my homework to know all the yarns in the store. I mean, I'm not complaining. So I am super excited to be working with the girls. I love them to pieces. Of course, I always talk about them anyway on here. But yeah, really, really excited. And I hope that I will see you guys if you come into the store, that I will be there to visit with you. So that is it for this week. And thank you so much if you stuck around to the end. I appreciate you so much. Please comment, please like, subscribe, pass on. Let's hopefully in the next 2 weeks have that 8 more subscriptions. And then we can have a big giveaway. So thank you so much for being here. I hope that you are enjoying your making. And I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.